Hey there! Today I want to talk about gelatin. I've been kind of obsessed with it for the past month or two, and I've been really consistent with consuming it every day, and so I wanted to share with you some of the results that I've been getting and also tell you how I've been eating it. First, I'll show you what type that I use. I'm not talking about Jell-O in the box with the bright colors and the preservatives and the sugar. I'm talking about kosher beef gelatin from grass-fed animals, and this brand is Great Lakes. I get this one. There's also one that's not kosher as well, but I like the kosher because it comes from beef. That's the one you would use if you were going to make Jell-O or fruit snacks or anything like that. This one is the collagen hydrolysate. It's also the kosher version. This one it'll dissolve in liquid, but it won't gel. So on days you don't feel like eating gummies or fruit snacks or Jell-O, you can just stir it into your coffee or a drink and still get the benefits from it, but it won't gel. So those are the two versions I use, both Great Lakes brand, and I just really like the quality of those. I know there's probably some other good brands out there too, but those are the ones I like. And so the purpose of consuming gelatin, there's a few different things. Because it's a collagen protein, so it's made up of amino acids. The only one missing is tryptophan, and I'm not too worried about missing out on the tryptophan. I know I'm getting it from other places, but if you are kind of worried about that, you could be strategic about it, eat some turkey or something like that. But to me, it's not a really big deal that it's missing tryptophan. Because it's a collagen protein, when you ingest it, it helps strengthen anything in your body that is related to collagen. So hair, skin, nails, connective tissue, that kind of thing. Your joints specifically can be affected by gelatin. And so one of the things I'm testing out is to see if it can get rid of a little bit of nagging knee pain that I have in my right knee. And I injured it probably 5 years ago now when I was running, back in the days when I thought I would try and be a runner. I gave that up, but not before I injured myself. And I've had an MRI and there's nothing technically wrong in my knee, but it still hurts. So I'm going to test out and see if the gelatin helps that over time. Also, I want to see what it does to my skin. Some people online have said that it caused them to break out, so I was a little nervous about that, but it hasn't had that effect on me at all. I haven't actually noticed any effects on my skin yet. My fingernails are super strong, super strong, and they're growing really fast, so I've noticed that. And the other thing is my hair. So in the beginning of January, I got my hair cut to just below chin length. So now it's like the end of March and it's grown, this much. So hair is growing super fast. So if you want to grow your hair fast, eat lots of gelatin. I'm not actually going to tell you how much I'm consuming in a day because I can't find anything about what is too much. And so I feel like I'm kind of pushing that limit to see what will happen. And I'll fill you in later, either if I find out how much is sort of an upper limit based on literature and research or on my own trial and error case by case thing with myself. But I'll let you know on that. I don't know. But I am consuming a lot. The daily serving size says 1 tablespoon. It says to take 1 tablespoon in the morning and 1 in the evening. And I can tell you I'm taking a lot more than that. So we'll see what happens. But other benefits of gelatin. Anecdotally, some people say that it helps suppress appetite. I haven't noticed that. I even saw one thing online where a woman said that she lost 4 pounds overnight. I'm guessing water weight for some reason, but I wouldn't rely on gelatin for weight loss except for it could help you consume more protein and less of something else. But I don't think it actually speeds up your metabolism. And then the last thing that it's really known for is helping with digestion. And so because gelatin is hydrophilic, it attracts water. So when it goes into your digestive system, to make a long story short and simplify it, it helps your body absorb and use nutrients. So in your stomach and your intestines, you absorb and use more nutrients from your food. So that's definitely a good thing. It also coats the lining of your digestive tract and helps to repair any damage you might have there from leaky gut, IBS, anything like that. So it's a good repair digestion supplement as well. And I saw somewhere online too that people would use it to help, like if a child had diarrhea, you could give them some gelatin and it would help stop that as well. So sounds better than some of the other things you can do, like medications. So how am I consuming it? Mostly I'm making fruit snacks, gummies. Most of them don't have fruit in them, so they're really gummies. And the most popular one that I've made is the wine gummies. They're definitely my favorite for happy hour. And I have another one that I have not shared the recipe for yet that's margarita flavored. And I really like those. Those are really good. I'll share those soon. So those two are really popular around here for happy hour time. But when I'm consuming gelatin on a daily basis during the middle of the workday, I don't necessarily want to include alcohol with that. So I've been using tea. I've been using this tea. It's called Sport Tea. And it definitely looks a little retro, but I love what's in this tea. I first tried it a couple of years ago, and it's super awesome. It's got green tea, black tea, but it's decaf equivalent, so there's only a tiny bit of caffeine in it, just like the same amount that's in decaf coffee. Vitamin C, electrolytes, it's really high in potassium, and Siberian eleuthero root. I'm not sure how to say that, but it's in there. It's a stress fighter, and so I like all the stuff that's in it, but I actually don't like tea at all. I'm not a tea drinker. I've tried many times, and I end up leaving cups of tea all over the place, not drinking them. So this is a perfect way for me to get the good stuff that's in here by making it into gummies. So I'll tell you quickly how I do it. This is actually the iced tea version. So I brew the iced tea and I keep it in the fridge. Then I take 2 cups of the iced tea. I put a splash in the blender container with just a sprinkle of gelatin. Then I put the rest of the iced tea on the stove, heat it up, and I add sweetener to it. So I use New Naturals stevia. Generally I've been using citrus, orange, or lemon, but peppermint's really good too. New Naturals is definitely my favorite, and I can't find it in California. This stuff's great as far as sweetener goes without having calories and spike your blood sugar and all of that stuff. And New Naturals, they didn't pay me to say that, but they did send me this for free. And when I was living in New York, I could find it in Wegmans in the natural foods baking section, but here I can't find it anywhere. So anyway, if you can find New Naturals, try it. I've been adding about 4 dropperfuls of the stevia to the tea. Once it's heated, it's not usually boiling, just really hot. I dump it into the blender container and then add a half a cup of this. The blender should be on low because if you turn it up, then it will just get really frothy, and the froth is not a nice texture. At least for me, I don't really like that texture at all. Even on low, there'll be a tiny bit of froth on the top. Before I dump that into my pan, I just spoon that off into a little bowl. And honestly, I eat it because I want the gelatin and I don't want to waste it, but I don't really like the texture or the flavor of it, and it's hot and whatever. But you don't have to spoon off the foam. It's only just a little bit, but it definitely leaves a very thin layer of foam on your gummies if you leave it on there. So after that's well combined, you just pour it into a baking pan. Doesn't matter what size, the size just determines how thick it is. So put it in the fridge for half an hour or so, or if you're impatient like me, throw it in the freezer for a few minutes and then it's ready to go. You don't have to keep it in the fridge after it's turned into gummies. You can leave it out. I just like them cold, so I just keep it in the fridge. The thing that I do if I'm going to serve them to other people is I use mini cookie cutters and make shapes. And the benefit of that is that when you do it, you get to eat the scraps. So it ends up looking like this. If I'm making it for myself, I just take a knife, cut it into strips, and then it looks more like this. It's not pretty, but it doesn't matter because it's faster and nobody's going to see it except me. So the reason I'm using the tea is because I like the ingredients and they taste good in gummies. And also I'm generally consuming it at the beginning of the afternoon about that time when I'd really like to be taking a nap, but I have to be productive for several more hours. So it gives me a little bit of a boost without having the caffeine. Plus I'm getting the gelatin. I think maybe, it makes me stay full for a while too. It's a really good snack, at least for me. I'm liking it. So that's gelatin. That's how I'm using it. I've experimented a lot too with putting it in baked goods. If you know me, then you know I'm kind of obsessed with coconut flour and baking with that. So far I haven't come up with anything that's super awesome with the gelatin in it, but I'm still working on it. So I'll keep you posted on that and anything else that I come up with too. So if you have questions about gelatin, you can leave them in the comments or send me an email. I'll try and answer them. And I'll keep you posted on my continuing results with the gelatin, how long my hair grows, and eventually maybe I'll tell you how much I'm consuming after I dig a little deeper and find out if there are any suggested upper limits. So there you have it, gelatin, gummies. I'll see you later.